Hello Capricorn, welcome to this reading. My name is Zane and we are going to be taking a look at the current energy for the sign of Capricorn for the week of May 30th. Now Capricorn, do keep in mind this is a general reading, so take the messages as they resonate, drop the ones that do not, and also check out your sun, moon, and rising signs. Capricorn, I do not offer personal readings, so if you get a message from someone, that is not me, that's someone impersonating me. Do not get scammed. Let's go ahead and see what we have going on here for you, Capricorn. Now, I am using the Psychic Tarot as well as the Kipper Oracle deck. There are links to all of these decks in the description below. I'd also ask that you hit the like button and subscribe, as it really does help my channel grow. More importantly, hitting the like button does ensure that other people who may need to see these messages have an opportunity to see the messages. All right. Yes, I think that's looking just about good enough to me. Let's go ahead and put that right there. And let's also take 3 of these Kipper cards to clarify as we go along. All right. Capricorn, so I really love what we see here in the middle, with actually the final 3 cards in the first 5 cards are all major arcana, so you are dealing with major themes at this time in your life. Things are about to pick up for you here for sure in June, definitely in the month of June here. And you know, we always go through and clarify with more cards. If you've never watched my videos before, I go up the pyramid and we clarify with more cards, but definitely I would expect the pace of things for you to sort of begin to pick up and increase here in this month of June, even though we're looking at a weekly reading here, but I think as we head into the month of June. So in your overall situation, you do have this Destiny card. So this is the Wheel of Fortune, and the Wheel of Fortune really is the biggest card indicating a destiny in the tarot. The thing is, when you get the Wheel of Fortune, it says that the wheel has sort of spun in your direction. And right now, conditions are sort of favorable. Fate is sort of on your side. And so it's up to you how you want to spend the energy, right? It's up to you how you want to take advantage of the luck that has sort of turned in your direction. And so this can be a very, very good card of new opportunities, but really what the Wheel of Fortune or the Destiny card does bring about as well is change. When you get the wheel in a tarot reading, change is inevitable. It is positive change typically, though, in a reading. And like I said, something here is beginning to shift. The gears are beginning to spin. The gears are beginning to shift. Things are moving around in your life here at this time. And this could be around something involving, this could be around a lucky situation in your life here. I'm unclear on whether or not this is a general life reading, a love reading, or a career reading. It could be one of each depending on what you are working on at this time, but we'll see as we go along. In the past here, you have this 7 of Cups and the 5 of Wands, so choose wisely, 7 of Cups, and the obstacles and challenges, 5 of Wands here. So it is a very interesting 2 cards here in the past, where it's almost like you have it's almost like some of you have sort of reached a fork in the road, and there's definitely some sort of test that you were given here in the past. You can see that this person is praying. They're trying to figure out which hand to go down, or which hand is best for them, which path is best for them. This is major path energy, okay? This is major sort of true north. What is your destiny? What is your path? What is your purpose? What is the fate? That is what fate is sort of in your hands at this time. It's a very big type of energy for you around those areas at this time here, Capricorn. And, you know, the thing about the 7 of Cups is it does ask you to be careful that you do not get overwhelmed, that you do not, just being careful of being like overwhelmed or confused by the many choices at hand. And you see this 5 of Wands here, this obstacles and challenges. This person sees the path ahead. The problem is, and they're even guided here, you can see this bird spirit here kind of showing them that's the way. The problem is it's not a matter of seeing it. The problem is jumping over it, right? The problem is jumping over it and actually taking the leap. This person doesn't know if they'll actually make it, right? And so there's definitely been a hurdle here in the past. And it's almost like for some of you, you're ready to jump, you're ready to move, you're ready to run right through the hurdle. And I don't think you're letting it hold you back here. But in the future, the thing is, we do have some challenging energy showing up. There is a change, absolutely. We have the devil and we have the moon. So temptation and shadow. So wow, these cards are very similar, and especially in this oracle deck here, it's a hybrid between a tarot and an oracle deck. But the devil here, you know, the devil is actually, it's interesting that this card, the moon card, is called shadow. I view the devil as a card of our shadows. And so this is the part of us that we know we need to fix, or that we know we need to change, and that we know we need to sort of work through. And the temptation card can also just represent a test of will. You know, we are constantly given tests here in this lifetime. And, you know, if you have any Sagittarius in your chart, I believe that was the reading. There was something about tests in the Sagittarius reading as well. I would take a look at that. But just throwing that out there. But the devil can come forward when there's anything related to like issues around power and control, you know, exerting willpower, moving forward, anything around addictions or negative habits or negative self-talk or anything like that. The moon here, or the shadow card, could say that there's a temporary situation brewing. The thing is, it's temporary. Okay, and so there may be something here that you're not very clear on. The moon, or the shadow in this case, is sort of like murky water. It's sort of something that we are not quite sure about. It can even suggest that there's somebody in our lives that is not as they appear. In fact, there could be, some of you could be dealing with a toxic person here in the future. But I would say that you're not allowing it to get in the way of your destiny here. Let's see what this change is about for you, Capricorn. Okay, so you have the Fool. You have the Six of Swords. Wow. You have the Nine of Wands. And you have the Eight of Swords. Pretty incredible. I mean, the New Beginnings card is the Fool, and the Six of Swords card is moving on, but it's about transitions. The Six of Swords sees you kind of sailing away from the obstacles, sailing away from the challenges, from the losses, from the defeats, and instead sailing in the direction of your goals, of your dreams, of your visions. And you know, for you, this is about sailing in the direction of your destiny here. What I love is you have this combined with this New Beginnings Fool energy. The Fool for me is the most powerful card to find in the tarot because it starts off everything. You can see this person's about to walk towards the world here. They have a long way to go because it's 0, but the world is the last card in the tarot. And so they have a long way to go, but you have to take that all important first step before you can get to the world. And the first step is often the hardest step. And so it's almost like you're really going for it here with this New Beginnings moving on here. And so I really like this. I definitely feel like you're not allowing whatever's been cloudy here with the Choose Wisely, and maybe what even is cloudy here in the future with the moon, you're not letting that hold you back. Instead, you're embracing the transition, you're embracing the transformation, you're moving ahead here. So you have this spiritual strength as well. Spiritual strength is the Nine of Wands. Very interesting way of sort of describing that card. The Nine of Wands asks you to sort of put your wand in the sand and say, hey, listen, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to cross the finish line. I'm going for this. Exerting your spiritual strength to sort of will something into existence, to see something through to the end, to go for it, to cross the finish line. And you know, there is clearly a test, but I said this in the Sagittarius reading. Masters pass tests. Okay, to become a master, you must pass tests, and you must first be given tests. And so the thing is, this person here on this card to me reminds me of a master. And you know, this could be what's going on here for you. You have this Eight of Swords, And the Eight of Swords is like the trapped in fear energy. It is some sort of negative self-talk or some sort of limiting belief that you are imposing on yourself. And this is definitely, I feel like, what's going on. I feel like this is less about a negative person in your life, and I feel like this is about negative thoughts here. So let's go ahead and move up the pyramid, or I'm sorry, let's go ahead and take a look at these three Kipper cards. So you have Mature Man, Occupation, and Thief. All right, so I do not attach gender to my cards, and so when you get the Mature Man, for me, this could be you kind of going through a maturation process, you kind of coming to a more mature understanding of something in your life, and this could be around this devil energy here with the shadow, you taking a look at your shadow self, your shadow side, and kind of working through that at this time. You have this occupation energy, which is clearly potentially about your work, or some of you overworking. I wonder if some of you are overworking here. I know Capricorns, you like to work hard, which is great, but I do wonder if it's a thief stealing your energy. I wonder if some of you need to draw a line between work-life kind of boundary balance here. And yeah, it's almost like that could certainly be coming in for some of you. Yeah, there might be an issue around work-life balance here. The devil can come in when somebody's maybe has a bit of an addiction to work or is kind of overworking, kind of, spending their energy on work and maybe not in other areas of life. Let's see what else we have here. We have the Empress. We have the Five of Swords. And we have the Crown Chakra. Okay, so love this energy for you here with the Crown Chakra. Obviously, Five Swords is not great, but you can see it's not the end of the world. The conflict and defeat here. All right, let me explain this. So the conflict and defeat. Five Swords is not doom and gloom. It's a recoverable. It's a recoverable loss. It's not like the Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords is something that's completely gone. It's done. It's not coming back. The Five Swords. This person's running, right? They have an option. Okay, yeah, they may have lost, but they're also not out of the game. They're not out of it totally. And especially as you have the Six of Swords here moving on, you're moving on from the Five of Swords, right? Because 6 comes after 5. And, it's almost like there is some type of good luck here in your life in a situation. And I think it's just a matter of figuring out how to sort of take advantage of the energy that's available. You have the fertility card, which is the Empress. The Empress is the most abundant card to find in a tarot reading. It's a very, very good sign if you are looking to sort of create abundance in your life by planting a seed, which then can sort of fertilize into something big here. As you see, this is actually about childbirth. The Empress is, the illustration is, the Empress is about, the Empress is a sign of fertility. It is the mother archetype in the tarot. But you can expand that much farther when you get the Empress card, where some of you, there could be a project that you're working on that feels like your baby, right? You could be planting a seed in work. You could be trying to get a project to grow larger. And this is also about not only having resources, but having an abundance of resources that you need to see something grow and to see it come into existence here. You have the Crown Chakra, which is right above your head. The Crown Chakra is your spiritual center. It is where you receive downloads. It's when you have an open Crown Chakra, you're easily able to communicate with your guides. You're easily able to get downloads in meditations, when you're walking, and so forth and so on. You have a deep connection to spirits when your Crown Chakra is open. When it is blocked or closed, it's possible that some of you are too far in the air. And when your Crown Chakra is closed, it's like there may need to be a little bit of grounding that needs to happen. It could mean that there needs to be a healthy mix of all 7 chakras, right? And when it's closed, it could mean, or if it's sort of like overblown, if you want to say, could mean that some of you are spending too much time in the air. Hopefully that makes sense. And what I mean by that is you're like looking for too many signs, you're looking for too many things, you're not able to hear the messages, and you're not able to get the guidance. And so I actually think, if I'm looking at this, I think you're working through some type of self-limiting belief here in your thoughts. I think with spiritual strength and crown chakra, I think your crown's open, and I think that this is going to be very helpful for you here as you work through this shadow self, or this test that is being kind of given to you from the universe here. So you have the Three of Swords, and you have the Four of Cups. Okay, so heartache and loss and discontent and boredom, not my favorite energies. If you know me, if you've watched my readings before, I don't like the energy of boredom because, you know, like where we're at in the timeline, just as a collective, there are so many things that you could be doing with your time to like bring your wishes and goals into fruition, where like the ability to do that is greater now than it probably ever has been. And so if you do see yourself dipping into boredom, which you might hear with the devil energy, with the temptation and the shadow energy, I would just try to bring yourself back to core, back to center. You have this Three of Swords, which is like, you know, obviously anything that's breaking your heart. It's, you know, in other illustrations of the card, you can see the three swords going through the heart, and that can represent breakups or divorce or separation. But it could be anything that's breaking your heart here. And then you do have this Five of Pentacles, which is financial and material changes. I wonder if some of you here have been like looking for a job. I wonder if some of you have been looking for an opportunity. I wonder if some of you have been looking to diversify. Some of you are maybe a little bit concerned around your finances in some ways here. The past may have been full of challenges in those areas, but you know, you have this Eight of Wands here on the bottom, the accelerated motion, which is things really moving ahead for you. Remember, I said at the beginning of this reading, there's change on the horizon. It's unclear to me whether this is a challenge or a positive change, but what I do know is that you are ready to work through it, and you are ready to take on the challenge. So you're ready to pass the test. So thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe. Really appreciate you. I will see you in the next reading.